Did you know the most devastating mass extinction in Earth's history wasn't the one that killed the dinosaurs? It was far worse. 252 million years ago, the Permian, Great Dying, wiped out 96% of all species, turning oceans into acid baths and lands into fiery hellscapes. Forests burned, 90% of marine life vanished, and even trees nearly disappeared forever. But here's the shocking twist. From this apocalypse rose the dinosaurs, evolving from tiny survivors to rulers of the world. How did they defy extinction and reshape life? Welcome to Hidden Origins, Ancient Mysteries, the Dinosaur Evolution Saga. Stay tuned. This origin story will change how you see our planet forever. Imagine standing on a planet that no longer resembles the Earth we know. No lush forests, no birdsong, just endless scorching deserts, air choked with toxic fumes, and oceans bubbling like vats of acid. This isn't science fiction, it's reality 252 million years ago. At the end of the Permian period, when a catastrophe wiped out nearly all life. Have you ever wondered what could kill 90% of all species on Earth? And from those ashes, how did tiny, unassuming creatures rise to become the dominant rulers of the planet for 165 million years? Welcome to Hidden Origins, where we uncover ancient mysteries through the lens of science and captivating storytelling. Today, in the first episode of our series, Ancient Mysteries, the Dinosaur Evolution Saga, we dive into the opening chapter, the awakening of dinosaurs from the Permian mass extinction. But don't assume you know how this ends. This journey is packed with surprises. From newly discovered fossils to debates still raging in scientific labs. Stay with us, because the secrets are only beginning to unfold, and you won't want to miss the moment everything changed forever. Let's rewind to the Permian period, from 299 to 252 million years ago, when Earth was a single supercontinent called Pangaea. Picture this. A massive landmass where Africa touched North America, India nestled against Antarctica, and Australia bordered South America. This wasn't the green paradise you might imagine. Much of Pangaea was a parched desert, with temperatures soaring to 50 degrees Celsius in the interior. Only near the equator did swampy coal forests thrive, teeming with ferns and ancient conifers. In the oceans, bizarre creatures like ammonites with spiral shells and trilobites swam, while on land, giant insects like Meganeuropsis, with wingspans up to a meter, ruled the skies. But the true lords of the Permian were synapsids, the ancestors of modern mammals. Think of Dimetrodon, a lizard-like creature 3 to 4 meters long, with a massive sail on its back to regulate body temperature, hunting in the murky forests. These species seemed invincible, but it was all an illusion before the storm that was coming. The Permian mass extinction, known as the Great Dying, was the greatest catastrophe in Earth's history. Fossils from rock layers in China, South Africa, and Australia show that over 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial species vanished in just a few thousand years. A blink in geological time. What caused it? Not a single event, but a cascade of disasters. First, picture the Siberian traps, today's Russia, erupting continuously for millions of years, spewing trillions of tons of lava and toxic gases like CO2 and methane. This triggered a runaway greenhouse effect, spiking global temperatures by 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, turning Pangaea into a giant furnace. Oceans lost oxygen and became acidic, killing corals, shellfish, and nearly all marine life. On land, forests burned to ash, leaving black coal layers in the sediment. Some scientists from MIT suggest additional triggers, like methane release from the seafloor or a minor asteroid impact. But the result was clear: a global graveyard. Fossil records from South Africa and Russia show barren rock layers, almost devoid of life, only ash and scattered bones. Visualize this scene. A Dimetrodon, once a mighty predator, crawls across a cracked desert, its skin blistered, gasping in sulfur-choked air. Around it, thousands of trilobites, ferns, and fellow synapsids lie dead. Giant insects plummet from a gray sky, and the oceans reek of decaying life. This was the moment Earth nearly became a dead planet. But in this devastation, a tiny spark of hope flickered. A small group of overlooked creatures survived quietly. They weren't the giant monsters you associate with dinosaurs. They were archosaurs, ancestors of dinosaurs, crocodiles, and even birds today. How did they do it? Why did they survive when mightier species fell? And most importantly, who were they? And what made them so special that they laid the foundation for an empire? To answer, we must step into the Triassic, a chaotic world where these tiny survivors began their journey. But first, ask yourself, if you were one of them, what would you do to survive this hell? From the ashes of the Permian mass extinction, the Triassic began, 252 to 201 million years ago, a new chapter filled with chaos. Pangaea remained a vast supercontinent, but now it was harsher. Deserts stretched thousands of miles. Sandstorms could bury forests, and oceans were oxygen-starved, nearly lifeless. Temperatures swung from scorching days to freezing nights, and water became more precious than gold. In this world, only the most adaptable survived. And that's where our story truly begins, with archosaurs. Small creatures carrying the seeds of dominance. Let's bring this to life with a character. Call them Era. An archosaur living in the Pangaea Desert around 240 million years ago. Era isn't the majestic dinosaur you picture. It's only about a meter tall, with a slender body, long hind legs, and large eyes for spotting prey in the dark. Its standout feature is bipedalism, walking on two legs. A key evolutionary trait that allowed it to run faster to escape predators and find scarce food. Paleontologists from the University of Bristol, studying fossils from Poland and Argentina like Acelasaurus, found that early archosaurs had an advanced respiratory system, similar to air sacs in modern birds, enabling better oxygen exchange in the thin post-Permian air. This was a critical advantage when most other species, like synapsids, succumbed to oxygen deprivation. Era didn't survive alone. It lived in a small group, perhaps 4 to 5 individuals, to boost survival odds. In a world teeming with dangers like rauisuchians, crocodile-like beasts up to 7 meters long with razor-sharp teeth, Era had to learn teamwork. Picture this scene. Era and 3 companions stalk through sparse bushes, eyeing a giant insect, like a 30 centimeters ancient dragonfly. One Era circles to distract it, while the others attack from behind with sharp claws and small but deadly teeth. This early social behavior hints at intelligence that would later define dinosaurs like Velociraptor. Fossils from Germany and Brazil show evidence of such group hunts, with broken bones and tooth marks on prey. But hunting wasn't the only challenge. Triassic sandstorms could last weeks, burying everything in red dust. Ara's group dug burrows with sharp claws to take shelter, scraping through cracked earth. Climate models from the University of Leeds show these storms were a major reason many species starved. But archosaurs thrived by conserving water and eating anything, plants, carrion, or insects. Around 240 million years ago, archosaurs began diversifying rapidly. They split into 2 main groups, Crocodilomorpha, ancestors of crocodiles, and Avametatarsalia, forebears of dinosaurs and pterosaurs, flying reptiles. A standout example is Nyasasaurus parringtoni, discovered in Tanzania in 2012, possibly the earliest dinosaur or its closest kin. Nyasasaurus, 2 to 3 meters long, had a dinosaur-like hip structure, enabling agile movement. Scientists like Paul Sereno from the University of Chicago argue Nyasasaurus shows dinosaurs appeared earlier than thought, right after the Permian extinction. But life wasn't easy. Imagine Era facing a pack of rauisuchians in a dry valley. The group flees, leaping over ground fissures with their bipedal speed. One member is injured, but the group doesn't abandon it. They pull their companion into a safe cave. This teamwork foreshadows the hunting strategies of later dinosaurs like Coelophysis. What happens when another catastrophe strikes? Around 230 million years ago, at the end of the Triassic, another extinction event, possibly from the Central Atlantic magmatic province volcanoes as Pangaea began to rift, wiped out competitors like rauisuchians and dicynodonts, pig-like creatures with tusks. This was a golden opportunity for true dinosaurs to explode. From archosaurs, they branched into Saurischia, theropods and sauropods, and ornithischia like Triceratops later. See the pattern? Tiny creatures like Era, once just survivors, were laying the foundation for a vast empire. But could they adapt to bigger changes as Pangea split and the world grew wetter? What would propel them from small survivors to the giants of the Jurassic? Keep watching, because this secret is bigger than you think. Now we reach the defining moment in Ara's story. By the late Triassic, around 230 million years ago, Pangea was still a harsh world. But change was stirring. Volcanic eruptions from the Central Atlantic magmatic province, as the supercontinent began splitting into Laurasia and Gondwana, shook the Earth again. Toxic gases filled the air, temperatures fluctuated, and competitors like Rauisuchians and Dicynodonts faded away. This was the golden opportunity for archosaurs and their descendants, true dinosaurs, to rise. Picture a dramatic scene. Era and its group, now slightly larger and more evolved, face a pack of Rauisuchians in a parched valley. Rauisuchians, up to 7 meters long with jaws like razors, are the ultimate threat. Era takes the lead, using its bipedal speed to lure the pack leader into a ground fissure. The cost is heavy. One group member sacrifices itself, attacked by a Rauisuchian, while the others strike from the flanks with claws and teeth. This is a life or death moment, testing their intelligence and teamwork. Fossils from Argentina's Ischigualasto Formation, a UNESCO heritage site, show evidence of such hunts. With broken bones and tooth marks on prey, the group prevails, but not without loss. They drag themselves to a small oasis, where trickling water and sparse plants signal hope. Here, we see the future. Ara's offspring have stronger legs, sharper teeth, signs of evolution toward Saurischia and Ornithischia. Let's dive into a key example, Herrerasaurus, one of the earliest Saurischians, found in Argentina. At 4 to 6 meters long, Herrerasaurus had curved, knife-like teeth and strong forelimbs for grasping prey, capable of running at 40 kilometers per hour, as shown by muscle reconstructions from CT scans at the University of Texas. Another species, Eoraptor, discovered in 1991, was only 1 meter long but versatile, with teeth suited for both meat and plants, showcasing evolutionary flexibility. These species, along with Coelophysis from New Mexico, mark the explosion of diversity after the late Triassic extinction. Coelophysis, 3 meters long, hunted in packs like wolves, with lightweight bones and large eyes for night hunting. Fossils at Ghost Ranch show hundreds died in a flood, illustrating the Triasic's dangers. Why did dinosaurs succeed? Some scientists, like Stephen Brusat from the University of Edinburgh, argue it was luck. They survived while competitors died. Others, like Paul Barrett from the Natural History Museum in London, emphasize genetic adaptations, fast growth, light bones, and social behavior. Think of Eoraptor, tiny, yet possibly the ancestor of both T-Rex and modern sparrows. As Pangea split, climates grew wetter, forests rose, and dinosaurs grew larger, stronger. This was the turning point toward the Jurassic, where giants like Brachiosaurus would emerge. But that's a story for our next video. Before we go, ask yourself, if Ara's kind survived the Permian hell, what awaits them in a new, wetter world? What will turn these survivors into giants? The journey from the Permian Desert to the late Triassic explosion teaches us that life doesn't just survive, it adapts and conquers. Traits like bipedalism, advanced respiration, and group intelligence laid the foundation for a 165 million year empire. And here's the kicker. Their legacy lives on in the birds flying overhead today. In our next video, we'll step into the Jurassic, where dinosaurs become true giants, with mysteries bigger than ever. Will they face new challenges? Or is this their peak? Thank you for joining Hidden Origins on this journey into the awakening of dinosaurs. If you found this video fascinating and want to uncover more ancient mysteries, like this video to support us, subscribe, and hit the bell to catch the next episode in the series. Comment below. Which evolutionary trait do you think was most crucial for dinosaurs to survive the Permian extinction? And if a similar event happened today, how would humanity adapt? Share your thoughts to spark a discussion. And don't forget to share this video with friends who love history and science. These ancient secrets deserve to spread. See you in the Jurassic, where things get bigger than ever.